Hey, morning everybody. Hope you're doing okay today. Just thought I'd do a video on this because I've had quite a few people ask me, and to be honest with you, I've been putting off doing a video for quite some time on this one, but I've finally gotten around to it. But one of the reasons I was delaying it was two reasons really. One, because I knew it'd be quite like a long video to do, and secondly, because I wanted to actually get a refund first to test it out to make sure I was like not giving bad advice to people. So I have achieved the refund. So that's why I thought I'd do this and just show you. So I'll get straight into it because it's quite a lot and I don't want to kind of like bore people and have people switching off and unsubscribing, do you know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to help people at the end of the day. So getting straight into it, refund of the health surcharge. So you got to understand it briefly. It's called the IHS, which is like immigration health surcharge, and it's part of your immigration application. It's got various different names. People call it the NHS fee, the NHS surcharge, or various different names that it might be, get a nickname or something like that, but ultimately it's the immigration health surcharge, IHS. So briefly, what is it and why? It's kind of like they decided to do this to kind of fuel finance into the NHS. It's kind of like, some people say it's also a tax, but ultimately, long story short, is if you make a visa application to the UK, you'll pay a visa fee for a permission of stay within the UK, but then you'll also pay a health surcharge, which goes towards a contribution towards the NHS. And pretty much most people, I believe, have to pay it. It was £400 per year, but that increased. I believe it's now 624. Yeah. So on the visa Melissa is on, she pays, or she would pay, £624. There are different ones like 470 if you're a student. But the strapline rate is 624, and that, I think the 624 rate came in from October of 2020, I believe. I'll double check that, but it was £400 a year. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, but as a prime example of somebody like Melissa, she'd pay £1,523 as a visa fee. That is to grant her a validity of 30 months to stay in the UK. And obviously 30 months is 2.5 years. So going alongside that same application, she would then be charged £1,000, which is the NHS surcharge fee. And that was based again on the same 2.5 years at £400 a year. That's the rate we paid. That's what I mean about that rate going up to £624. But when we paid it, it was £400. So we paid £1,000, 2.5 years at £400, £1,000 plus the visa fee. We paid £2,523. So that's what you're after. That's what you're after in terms of the refund. You want that £1,000 back. So getting back onto it in terms of the refund came about because Boris Johnson put the rate up from 464, as we've discussed, but at the same time you then got COVID, and you got all these people who are from different parts of the world working their tails off in the NHS and care homes, and then as they're working, they're naturally paying national insurance contribution in their wage. So they're thinking, hang on a second, I'm frontline carer working in the NHS during COVID, I'm paying the immigration surcharge fee, plus I'm paying my national insurance contributions in my wage. So Boris, to kind of please the people, as as my terminology goes, he kind of said, okay, we'll let people refund it. We'll get a refund on it. So now I'll get into the refund. So I know this little bit is going to annoy people, but in the reality is, if you paid £1,000, like my example, you'd expect to just be able to put a refund in for £1,000. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. No, you can't. The rules stipulate that you can only apply for a refund for a 1 6-month period at a time. So essentially, if you've paid £1,000, you've got to claim it back over 5 claims. And I know a lot of people will be listening to that going, what are you on about? Well, exactly. That's just the reality of what the British government do, they say, yes, you can have a refund. So politically, it sounds really nice. But then when you realise you've actually got to claim it back over 5 claims, you just pull your hair out in despair. So for the example of Melissa, we'll claim in this way. So the earliest you can make a claim is from the 31st of March 2020. You can't claim earlier than that date. That's when the claim rules kind of allowed you to go in. They won't go back beyond that date. So for us, we'll claim from the 31st of March to the 30th of September 2020. We'll claim a 6-month value of £200. So I've done that now, and I'm just waiting for that money to come into my bank. The actual claim has been approved. And then I'll go from the 1st of October 2020 to the 30th of March 21, another 6 months of 200, claim a second time and get that 200 back. Then I'll claim a third time, the 1st of April 21, the next period on from that, and that's the next period on from that, to the 30th of September 21, another 6 month period of £200, and so on until I've claimed the £1,000 that I paid originally way back when. I will then get that back, but I'll only get that back in essentially 5 claims of £200 each time. And that right there is a sticking point, because a lot of people are going to think 2 things. They're going to think, I cannot be arsed with that. And that's what they want you to think, because they don't want you to ultimately claim for it. But if you are willing to claim for it, each claim has got to be evidenced. Now, to be fair, the evidence that you need to claim is relatively simple, but ultimately you do need evidence, which I'll go into now. So once you've got that really firmly in your mind that you can only apply for refund for 1 6-month period at a time, starting on or after the 31st of March, anything before the 31st of March 2020, you've got to forget. You've got to kind of ignore. So the eligibility to claim is you must have obviously paid the, NHS fee, IHS fee, which is probably why you're watching this video. You work in the NHS. Doesn't matter what job you do in the NHS. As long as you work for the NHS or any organisation that falls under the CQC, which is the Care Quality Commission. And you might think, what on earth is that? The CQC is basically anything that kind of regulates a care home. So it could be a residential care home, private nursing home. You could be a Filipina in a care home looking after British oldies, going through their retirement in a care home. That is fine. These guys here generally regulate any care home which the local authorities use, the city council uses, the borough council uses, Manchester City Council, Bury City Council, anything like that. The CQC generally regulate that care home, so that'll be fine. You'll qualify. So if you work in a care home, the chances are you will be eligible to seek refunds. And the other caveat to the rule is you've got to have worked for at least 6 months in that establishment for an average of at least 16 hours a week. So 6 and 16 rule. 6 months in role for an average of 16 hours a week. So when you want to apply, it's basically you literally just go to gov.uk and go to apply for immigration health surcharge refund. And the only things you need is the original IHS number, which is the reference number you got when you originally paid. If you check through any old emails or any old visa applications, that IHS number, the 12-digit number, will be on that application somewhere. You need that. You need to troll through your old applications and find that number. And then the second thing you need is your national insurance number. Third thing is just your email address. The fourth is the name of your employer. And then finally, you need copies of the 6 months you're claiming for, 6 months pay slips. So in terms of Melissa, I always keep her pay slips anyway in a drawer, so it's no problem. I just run it through a scanner and I scan them as PDFs. So I had the all the information I needed in the pay slips, and you literally just click on start now, and you claim all in here off this gov.uk website, gov.uk. Literally just search for it on Google. As long as it's a genuine gov.uk, you can just apply on that start now button, and it's literally going to ask you for the IHS number, national insurance number, your name, your address, where you work, how long you've worked there, and ask you for evidence of the 6 months bank statements, which you upload. I also uploaded a copy of the contract and her start letter. You know, like she gets a letter saying, congratulations, you've got a job and you're contracted for 33 hours a week. I also uploaded that to strengthen the application, but that actually is optional. Mainly so long as you've got the 6 months bank statements, 6 months pay slips, that's what you're after really, and you just start now, and it's a quick 4 or 5 page thing you fill in. It's nothing too hard, to be honest. And then once you've submitted it, you just receive an email to the email address you put in, and it just basically says thank you for your application. You'll get a decision within 6 weeks. And I think we only waited about 4 weeks, and then we just received another email basically saying congratulations, you're eligible for the refund, and the money will be deposited into your bank or onto your credit card within the next 6 weeks. So just to kind of get that into your mind, once you hit submit, once you fill this in, you can wait 6 weeks for a decision and then 6 weeks for the money, and the money is refunded to where you originally paid that. So if you paid that originally on a credit card, that money would be refunded to that credit card, and then that's it. And then that's it for 6 months. So just taking it back to the example case of Melissa, obviously this is a one we've just done. We've claimed the 31st of March to 31st of September. We've sent in wage slips to evidence that period, which has been granted, and I'm just waiting that money to hit the credit card which was originally paid. And then obviously the next claim point is going to be the 1st of October to the 31st of March. And obviously today's date is the 6th of March. So when I start getting to April time, I'll then claim that one as well and get that 200 back, and then so on and so on until I've gone 22222 and I got my £1,000 back. And if you do need to call them at any time, just under there where it says start now to submit your claim, there is actually a helpline for the NHS Business Service Authority, and you can give them a ring and ask them any questions if you're not sure. But generally that is a overview of it. It would be nice, like I say, that if you paid £1,000, you just claim once and you get £1,000 back. But unfortunately, just nothing is ever that simple, unfortunately. It does require commitment to do it. Personally, I don't have a problem with it because I'm just used to the system now. It's just in my blood, so it just doesn't faze me now. And I tend to keep Melissa's pay slips in a filing cabinet, which I can just scan and upload anyway as part of this application. But I appreciate that some people will be watching this thinking, what on earth? I cannot be arsed with that. But you've got to understand that's what they want. They want you to not be bothered, so then obviously they win. But that's it, guys. To be honest, that's pretty much the process. Hit submit, wait 6 weeks, receive an email with a decision, wait another 6 weeks, and you receive the funds back. Like I say, but only claim 6 months at a time. So yeah, appreciate it's a difficult one, and a lot of people will struggle with that. But that's it, guys. And just to mention as well that the only side caveat to that is if you're a medical professional and you're not eligible for an automatic refund. Melissa and myself, we're not medical professionals, so we've never gone down that road. So if you're watching this and you're like a doctor or something like that, I can't advise. But I would advise just to go on to gov.uk and just take a look and click on the link and just see what it says. But certainly in the case of us, when Melissa is my spouse, we have to do the claim manually. So that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Another mind-boggling video with lots of information. But please like and subscribe, and appreciate the time watching this. If you guys appreciate my time making this video, thanks very much and have a great weekend.